Today I'm bringing you the second episode of the SortaSeries, and this time we're featuring the Miami Heat. Sorta. There are a lot of interesting players that made a one-time stop in Miami, but most big-name players or Hall of Famers that went to Miami at some stage must have really loved the weather, because a lot of them stayed longer than just one season, so they're not eligible. This team, however, is interesting, and it's full of a lot of players who had tons of potential that they never reached, mostly because of injury. Now, right off the bat, we are cheating a little bit on this because there are better players, but Jeff Malone was a two-time All-Star. We spent 60 tokens on getting him, and he is the owner of maybe the most ridiculous game-winning buzzer beater ever.
No good! Rebound, Day! Day with 5 seconds into the front court, goes to Malone, into the corner. Malone throws up a brick left side. Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Malone is a 6'4" point guard, shooting guard. He put up 19 a game for his career, so he's a pretty decent player, and he ended up playing 7 games for Miami at the very end of his career. And I actually forgot to finish evolving 2 of these cards, so I need to take about half an hour and finish that crap out really quick. Alright, it's the future, it's a little bit darker out. Brent Barry, one of the more unexpectedly amazing mixtapes. If you go watch Brent Barry, he's just like a really solid all-around player, has some really flashy passes, some really good dunks, could shoot, could play a little defense, so yeah, I'm excited to use him. I always like Brent Barry. Also, he played 17 games in the 1998 season for Miami. Alright, our first guy that's career was derailed by injury, we got Danny Granger. He's averaged about 22, 5, and 3 for a 4-year stretch. He had a very solid upwards trajectory on his career. Him and Paul George were doing really well. They were causing a lot of problems for the Heat. And he ended up finishing out his career in Miami in the 2014-15 season after LeBron left. He started 6 games, played 30 overall, but that was it, and his career was done. Danny Granger, even now, is only 37, so I mean, you know, the fact that he's been out of the league for 5 years is too bad. Lamar Odom is actually one of the rare cases in this entire series where you could argue his best season was when he played for the Heat. In the 2004 season, he averaged 17, 10, and 4. Definitely, I mean, it's in the middle of his like athletic peak. He was 24 when he played for Miami, played 80 games, started all 80. Just a really good season. So this is actually one of the few times in this entire series that a card is probably going to be most accurately represented in this game. He was a 1-year rental and he played very well. And coming in at the 5 is Greg Oden. I refuse to call him a bust because he had so much potential as an NBA big man. He was just cursed with having legs that weren't the same length. So he had knee injury after knee injury. He ended up playing just over 100 games total in the NBA. Played 23 games for Miami, put up 3 points, 2 rebounds. In college and in high school, Greg Oden was special. He had a ton of potential. He was drafted over Kevin Durant. At that time in the NBA, you took the best big guy available, and Greg Oden had the potential to be the best center in the league since who knows. If you haven't, definitely go and watch some of his old college highlights. And I know it doesn't count for much, but check out some of his big 3 highlights, because he is playing in that right now where you don't have to run full court and don't really have to risk injury as much, and he bodies the shit out of guys. So along with Granger and Odom, Greg Oden's career just never got to really be what it should have been. Alright, so first point guard off the bench is going to be Rod Strickland. I'm not going to go over him too much because he's going to be on 5 of these teams because he played for apparently every team in the NBA. The quick version, he led the league in assists once, he's Kyrie Irving's godfather, and he's one of the best under-the-rim finishers of all time. He's also one of the few players in the NBA to ever make an All-NBA team, but never make an All-Star team. Another career derailed by injuries, Anthony Penny Hardaway, 4-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. Really good player, really exciting player. Came out of retirement in 2008 to play 16 games with Miami, averaged 4 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. He actually played the small forward for Miami, which is why I'm going to have him coming off the bench as a shooting guard. But unfortunately, yet another Miami rental player who just never really got to live up to his potential. As our backup small forward, we have a guy who kind of held on to his NBA career a little too long. He finished out the last 4 years of his career all on different teams over different seasons. Couldn't stay on the court. Jerry Stackhouse averaged a ton of points for the first 14 years of his career, and then really petered out. He averaged less than 2 a game for Miami in 2011, played 7 games. He probably should have retired in 2008 and didn't until 2013. So Jerry Stackhouse backing up at the 3. I'm going to end up having to switch the lineups around a little bit because Amari had an objectively better career than Lamar Odom. Amari had like 8 really good seasons with Phoenix. You could argue that it was because of him, or that having the MVP and probably best point guard, one of the best passers of all time, as his running mate was helpful. But, you know, stat averaged like 25 points a game for a long time. Unfortunately, his knees were made of paper, and he, like a lot of the cards in this series, Amari Stoudemire finished out his career in Miami. He played 52 games, started 36 of them. He put up 6 points, 4 rebounds, and yeah, yet another Miami rental player who just never had the chance to finish out his career right. All right, it's the future again, and now we're finally at our backup center. We have Manute Bol. Manute actually played for the Miami Heat for 8 games. He scored 2 points and blocked 6 shots in those 8 games. And it was during the 1993-94 season where he actually played for the Miami Heat, the Washington Bullets, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Manute, of course, 7'7" center, father of Bol, who currently in the bubble is kind of turning some heads. And I haven't actually used this card, so I think it'll be fun. Our 11th man, we have Jim Jackson. Probably the funniest thing that my brother has ever said to me is that Jim Jackson ruined more teammates' marriage than Prima Nocte. And if you know what Prima Nocte is, you get the joke. And if you don't, I'll leave a link to Wikipedia. And it's really funny, because Jim Jackson slept with a lot of his teammates' wives. 12th man, we got Rex Chapman, who looks like a complete goblin in this picture. I never got a chance to get the better version when he was on the limited boards, but we all know Rex. He's a champ. He was shooting from Curry range way too early. Wasn't as good at it, but Rex Chapman, man, he's a sneaky fun guy to watch, and he's also a really fun follow on Twitter. So I would check out Rex Chapman. All right, and then last off our bench, we have Sean Livingston, who played for Miami in the 2008-2009 season. He actually only played for them for 4 games. Played 10.3 minutes a game. So I mean, he was really just a quick cup of coffee there, and then he was off again. Sean Livingston's played for, I think, 9 different teams in the NBA, and 5 of them were for part of a season. So we'll probably see him again. The fact that his best card is a center/power forward is 2K. But yeah, this is the team. You'll notice that we have a couple upgrades or differences. The only one, honestly, might be that we have the Opal Greg Oden instead of the Pink Diamond. But the Opal one wasn't out when I started recording this, and now he is. So this is the team. We're gonna hop into a game online. There we go. Finally, that took like 10 minutes. That was kind of weird. Apparently, I'm going to die. For being honest, his team doesn't look that great. He's got some better bigs, probably. Honestly, we have pretty similar teams. Also, I have no interest in picking up the glitched Lamar, because I have the Prime one, and I prefer him actually at, if not small forward, then power forward. And running him at the point just didn't really appeal to me. So Jeff Malone, corner 3, we recognize that from earlier. This Pink Diamond LaMelo is pretty good. Oh, except no. We almost had something fun going on there, but then everything went terrible. Because for some reason, he blocks more shots than anybody. This Jeff Malone card, I mean, 2 greens to start it off. You could say he's sort of Heat. If you've seen Jeff Malone lately, he's a big old boy now. Is Jeff Malone the most likable Malone in the NBA now?
How about that?
Couldn't get a green, but Jeff Malone 3 for 3. This guy should be sad.
You should be sad.
Jeff Malone getting buckets inside. Yeah, Jeff Malone has either scored or assisted every bucket. Got a really good free throw. All right, Jim Jackson. Got Jim Jackson. It's so big. Guy's really not good at the game. We'll hit up Penny. Not a good release. Oh, Sean Livingston. We're gonna get points with Rex Chapman. That's all we cared about. We're gonna win this game and score with every player on the roster is the goal. If I can make a free throw. Come on, Rexy. There we go. Oh, please, Rex. Yes. All right, we got a 3 with Rex. We can get him out of here for the rest of the game. Jim Jackson getting busy. We'll just keep getting dunked. Jim Jackson doing Jim Jackson things. So Greg Oden's on the board. I think the Greg Oden last year was a little bit better. It felt like he was faster. Good. I like Greg Oden's dunk animations because there's nothing flashy about them. He just goes straight up and puts it in. Lamar Odom out rebounding Manute. Easy dunks because he keeps off-balling. I'm sure I've said it in other videos, but... Alright, so I'm going to say this in pretty much every video I ever make until people realize that it's dumb. See how he's off-balling? There's a dunk. All you have to do, dribble over towards the guy that they're off-balling on, hold triangle, and they'll cut to the rim. They'll go right behind him. You can just stand there because people have no idea what they're doing. And here we go. Here's another guy. He's off-balling. Easy layup. So every time he off-balls, if I want a layup, I can get a layup. So try not to off-ball as much, or at least be smart about it when you do. Alright, so that's going to do it. Jeff Malone ends up being our best player. 6 minutes, 15 points, 3 assists. Shot really well. Surprisingly good card for a 6'4" diamond token card. Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. Stackhouse sucks. Jim Jackson, I mean, for like 4,000 or 5,000 MT, you could do a lot worse at your shooting guard. Brent Berry, really good card. Fun to evolve too. I was using him for some of the offline stuff. Sean Livingston, 4 rebounds in 5 minutes, and I mean, he was matched up with Manute Bol, Artis Gilmore, and who else? Elvin Hayes. So honestly, yeah, not so bad. And yeah, that's going to be it for the game. Alright, so that's going to do it for the Sorta Heat. I can't wait to sell all these cards back. Honestly, I really liked it. There were a lot of like good 2K players that stopped in Miami for one season. None of these guys really had like an amazing career, but again, a lot of them were cut short by injury. Let me know which team you'd like to see me make a Sorta roster for next. So far we've done the Celtics, the Heat, and we live streamed the Sorta Sonics. I'm going to be trying to cut that from the VOD and try and make that into a video. But if you have any other team suggestions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.